Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to have Ahmad Jamhour, the founder and CEO of AMJ Marketing Group. This is a full service digital marketing agency. They specialize in organic marketing, content creation, influencer collaboration, and SEO-driven strategies, helping businesses across various industries enhance their online presence and achieve tangible results, aka make a lot more money. Ahmed, welcome to Founders Future.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm super excited to dive in, my friend. I always like to start from the beginning. So take us back to before you started your company. What was the motivation, inspiration behind starting it, and what problems were you hoping to solve in the market?
It's a great question. I can answer that in two different ways. I started off doing professional photography when I was 14, 15 years old. Yeah, I was always the kind of guy that just I like to get out there and do my thing, as they say. In between, I worked like odd jobs. I worked a lot of retail, a lot of sneakers. I'm a big sneaker guy, so I was always working in like sneaker stores, shoe stores, things like that. I noticed that I had a knack for sales. And not just any kind of sales, but sales where I was able to make emotional connections with the people I was selling to.
Wow.
Granted, I was nothing more than just a retail salesman making minimum wage, and everything I sold didn't really hit me in commission, but still, it was something that I really did enjoy, and it was something I was very good at. Any store that I worked at, I was always top salesperson. That was, I guess that's one facet of it. The second facet of it was I started university at the New Jersey Institute of Technology as a chemical engineering undergrad. And I realized very soon into my journey that I'm not like everybody else, being that I don't want to sit 4 years in college, stuff myself into an office or a room, study my heart out, come to class, get good grades, work for a company, then retire when I'm old and frail and can barely move.
Hmm.
That was not what I ever wanted to do with my life. And being in college made me realize that even more. I actually started Horn Media in my second year of university, where I started reaching out to businesses and being like, look, like, let me make content for you guys. I'll post it on social media, pay me X amount of money. And eventually, over the years, it grew into what it is now.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And I like that you, regardless of where you were at and what you thought about the job, you still actually put an effort and tried to become the best at what you were doing, right?
100%.
It's huge because regardless of what it is and how we perceive it, is it prestigious, is it whatever, everything that you do is building you up into the man that you're eventually going to become that's going to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do. So it's building
Absolutely.
blocks to your character. So
Right.
I love that tremendously. Help us understand, as you were transitioning into starting your company, what were some of the, if any, mental blocks or limitations that you had around going from just working as an employee to really you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, starting your own company?
I think what sets 99% of people that want to become entrepreneurs back, and what really helps the people that are in the top 1% of entrepreneurs progress, is fear. A lot of people, especially those that are younger age, they're just scared.
Yeah.
Are the people around me going to accept me for doing this thing? Or am I actually going to make money out of this? Am I going to cut off ties to my university or to my school and do something that's actually going to be worthwhile? Or is it all going to crash and burn and I have nothing to fall back on? These are the kind of things that went through my mind, honestly. Um, I did continue with my college education. I don't want to give the impression that I didn't. I did graduate, but at the same time, I want to say I put 95% of my time into my business, 5% of the time into actually graduating university. I had to overcome a lot of imposter syndrome being so young when I did what I did. And I faced a lot of backlash from my friends. And frankly, like people would literally just sit there and laugh at me when they
Yeah.
heard like I wanted to start a company. And again, you just have to realize that it's about the goal and the journey is just a way to get to the goal. The journey will pass, but the goal will stay with you forever, and that's your legacy. And I think recognizing that is what helped me push forward.
I love that so much. How did so walk us through a little bit of that when you were faced with imposter syndrome, when you were faced with the fears, how did you navigate that? How did you move in spite of the fear?
It's a great question. Number one thing is always trust in God, right?
Mm,
You put your best foot forward and you trust that whatever you do will be rewarded in some way, shape, or form by Him. That was the number one thing for me, and that will always be the number one thing for me from now until the day that I die. On the other hand, it was also, again, like when you have a goal in mind, I think it's important to internalize that goal so much to the point where anything that kind of gets in the way of that goal, you just push it away. You don't even look at it. You ignore it completely, right?
mm,
You have to be so goal oriented in order to do something special that any obstacle on the way, don't even think of it as an obstacle. It's just a thing. It's a thing that you could just push away.
yeah,
You go into life with that mindset, you'll get pretty far.
you're gonna absolutely dominate. I love that so much. I read this book called It's Never Crowded Along the Extra Mile by
Mhm.
Dr. Dyer. Great book. He talks about like 10, 10 secrets to inner success, or sorry, to success and inner happiness is the subtitle. One of them is wisdom is avoiding all thoughts that weaken you. And that
100%.
that just stuck with me so much. And I was like, oof, that's so powerful. The
Right.
why only entertain thoughts that strengthen them and get them closer to where they want to go. So I love that. I love what you mentioned. That's huge. Let's shift over a little bit to your company, AMJ Marketing Group. Help us understand who's your ideal customer and what offers, what services do they have at their disposal?
So I did mention before that we were formerly known as Jamhour Media. Jamhour Media was just the baseline stayed the same. We were an organic social media marketing firm specifically for restaurants and even more specifically halal restaurants. Living in the New Jersey, New York area, we have a surplus in halal
Yeah.
restaurants. We have a massive Muslim community. So I wanted to really just help out and give back to the community in any way that I can and make some money in doing so. AMJ Marketing Group is a lot more broad, I would say.
Mm,
Recognizing the, I just full disclosure and being very vulnerable here, recognizing the economic downturn that we're currently witnessing in the US and the fear of not knowing what's going to happen in the next few months, a lot of restaurants have been suffering and struggling,
mm,
frankly. So I had to recognize that look like restaurants cannot be the core of your business because restaurants are a very volatile business in this current time and age. So we started working with other kinds of brands that, and it sounds a little cynical maybe, but brands that don't necessarily rely on your average middle class or working class individual.
mm,
Brands that an economic recession would not necessarily impact so much. So we started looking into working with things on the more luxury side. So things like jewelry stores, dealerships, retail stores, things of the such, in order to sustain our business and still carry out our ambitions as growing as a marketing firm and helping people grow through our strategies.
yeah. That's a very strategic business decision, and I get why you would make a shift like that, especially with restaurants being low margin,
Yeah.
hard to have the spendable income for things that they don't really understand or unless it's communicated. But a lot of I found that restaurant owners, I actually just had a guy yesterday who runs an app for restaurant owners to raise their profitability, but it's like they don't see the value in it, so the marketing and the messaging can be a little bit challenging, but if it cracked, it can be very like lucrative. But walk me through, so AMJ Marketing Group, you work with a broader customer base. What are the different services and offerings that you provide for them?
Frankly, most of the difference between what we're doing now and what we were doing before is we're doing a lot more work on the back end and we're putting in, frankly, over the past few months, and we've only actually made this rebranding very recently over the past 2 months. So far we've been growing even faster than I anticipated. Thank God. I put a lot of time and a lot of money into hiring excellent talent.
Mm,
And even more important to me than the clients and the customers that we have is the talent that's behind me, right? I can only do so much, obviously, as a business owner, but money is really what shifts the dynamic. So I reinvested almost every single dollar that we've ever made in the past few months into hiring new talent, hiring people that were better at everything than me, hiring people that knew Instagram better than they knew their own families, hiring
Well,
people that strategized for some of the biggest brands and the biggest influencers in the world that now work alongside myself. These are the people that allow us to broaden our range and our offerings. These people are putting in hours and hours into research, into editing, into cinematography, into photography to not only elevate the kind of content that we produce, but ensure that every single person who invests a single penny with us is going to see that 10 times more.
yeah. I love that. I love that. So you're reinvesting everything to build the infrastructure, which will allow you to just be extremely valuable to the people that you work with.
Right.
So let's say I run a business and I'm listening to this and I'm like, okay, cool. I would love to bring on your marketing agency and help me increase my reach and bring in more customers. What does a typical engagement look like?
That's a great question. Look, the reason why I put full service before any mention of us is because we really are full service. Look, like I'm a business owner myself, so I know that it's very tumultuous and there's a lot of different things that you have to do. You have to file for this, you have to file for that, you got to sign this, you got to sign that. You don't have time to focus on anything other than the MMA, right? The money making activities
Yep.
as a business owner, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, yeah.
People that own the businesses that we work with, even more so than myself, feel that. So we have to ensure that we're communicating to our clients that look like once you give us your social media credentials and you give us the opportunity and the privilege really to make content for you, to post that content, to optimize that content in order to maximize the reach. Right. Some of our pages are reaching millions and millions of users every single
Wow.
month, 100% organically. We just want you to focus on running your business and growing it. That's it. We do everything. You just reap the rewards, pocket more money, whatever it is. Enjoy it.
I love that. So it's organic marketing mainly?
It's organic marketing fully.
Fully. Okay. Okay, got it. And then I know there was an SEO component in there as well. Is
All right.
that like Google My Business, listings? Help us understand a
No.
little.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a great question. So, look, social media algorithms, they change so often. Every few months there's a different update and there's a different thing that kind of changes and we as people working with social media have to adapt.
Yep.
SEO is the newest thing on social media. Right. And you'll hear this a lot. Maybe you'll be scrolling through your own social media feed and seeing people that talk about marketing, like hashtags are dead, for example. Your captions don't have to be long. Crazy edits are a waste of time. Things like that are actually all very true. SEO, we feel, is the most effective way in orchestrating a strategy because we know for a fact that if we're using keywords on social media, in our captions, in the Instagram page or the TikTok page or the Facebook page itself, we know for a fact that we're going to reach people that will actually come and give business to our client. Oftentimes, I'll receive calls from people who have pages that are getting hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm just like, why are you calling me? You guys are doing great. But then they'll be like, yeah, look at all these views, but none of them are actually converting into sales for us. Why?
Mm.
Because we're a restaurant based in, I don't know, like Secaucus, New Jersey, and all of our views are coming from the Dominican Republic. So what good is that?
Yeah.
So we make sure that our clients and their pages are actually reaching and targeting the proper people without running any ads. We do it organically through keywords and SEO.
I love that so much because obviously we've all heard of different marketing agencies and content creation agencies. Very few of them actually focus on driving revenue and driving results because that's ultimately why the business owner hired you. So I love that you guys have a focus on that. Yeah, there's this one like restaurant I follow and it's in Montreal. I'm never gonna go there, but it's just cool. It's just like good content and all that stuff. But I can see where the SEO and the keywords are really important to making sure you're getting the people that are actually going to be buying from you, right?
100%.
How do you personally generate leads for your company? What does that look like?
We've been in business for about 3 years. For the first year and a half, it was, oh man, it was a lot of skipping classes in order to make cold calls and a lot of just texting and asking friends of friends of friends, do you know this guy? Do you know that guy? Who owns this place? Who owns that place? By the grace of God, we're at a point right now where we're getting quite a few dozen leads every single month coming to us. We don't do any sales ourselves. We rarely run ads. We rarely reach out to people. People come to us now.
I love
We
that.
are, yeah, and I think the more premium that we've made our services, the more people have wanted us. And it's a very counterintuitive thing. Like you'd
I
think that
know.
once you're a more premium thing or you're a more expensive individual or service, people are probably going to want to back away. But I've actually seen the complete opposite. So I know
Yeah.
for a fact it's a thing in business and people understand that and know that, but it's just interesting to see it in real time.
I know it is super counterintuitive, but you are correct. It's one of the like the business 101. And
Right.
especially when you're going after businesses that are more recession proof and they have more disposable income to spend into marketing initiatives, they actually take you more seriously when you charge more, which is
100%.
so interesting. It's
Yeah.
but they look at you differently. You're perceived differently, even if nothing else is different about the service. It's so funny.
Yeah. It's
Uh,
ridiculous, but it works.
so now walk us through the sales process. Now that you so you bring in the leads, they come in inbound. What are the steps that a lead goes through to turn into a client?
It's a great question. Look, I would say the sale process is not really a sale process at all. I wholeheartedly believe that people come to us even before our rebrand, but people were coming to us because they've seen the quality of our work. Something that you are you familiar with the realtor Mohammed bin Gatti? Or
Probably.
he's a
Who?
realtor and he's an architect in Dubai. He's a really big
Okay.
guy. And
Yeah, yeah.
so I was watching a video about him and he was talking about this thing called omnipotence,
Yep.
just being everywhere all at once, not being there at the same time. The way that he does that with real estate and architecture is he has a very specific design style so that, when you're driving by and you see a building with that design style, you know that he designed it if you know anything about design or real estate. And that's what we do too. Like, a lot of people come up to me and they're just like, they hold up their phone, showing me a video like, hey, you work with this place now? Yeah, we work with this place now because we have a style, we have a way that we make content. That in of itself, that's our sale process right there. We put out good content,
Sure.
people like it,
Yeah.
and people know that it's us. Or they come to us, they want the same thing for their business. With that, 75% of the sale was already made. We just have to send the contract and go over a few details, and we're good to
Yep.
go.
Got it. So is it like typically one call closes?
One call closes. That's it.
Okay, amazing. Maybe raise your prices again. Yeah, is it this actually like a legit point? Because we work with thousands at closers.io, we've worked with literally over 3,000 different agencies, consultants, and coaches in
Right.
various different industries. We find that if you're closing at 60, 70%, if not higher, there is definitely room to increase the price. But obviously, executive decision for you to make.
Yeah.
Walk me through now that you've reinvested into the company to hire amazing talent and really laid the infrastructure down to be able to sound, it sounds like service more people at a higher level. What does the vision look like? If you were to look over the next 12 months, what are your top priorities? Where do you want to take this company?
Look, I think the goal of every single company is to minimize the amount of clients and maximize the amount of revenue. Right. With our raised prices and our more selective range of clients that we work with, although it's broad as in we can work with literally anybody who sells anything or does anything. At the same time, we are selective in who we actually work with because certain things have better potential to grow than others. Now, given that point, where we've been doing 3x like year over year, every single year since we started at least. And this year we're looking at 4x or year over year
Awesome.
with less clients. That's the goal for us, I think, is just minimizing the amount of work that we take on so that way we can perfect the work that we do while still maximizing revenue at the end of the day.
What do you feel like is the biggest bottleneck to scaling this further? and maybe challenged to 4xing it? Would it be leads, sales, fulfillment, maybe none of the above? What do you feel?
Look, behind every business is people, right? Every business looks good on paper.
Yeah.
Pretty much every single business looks good on paper. But when it actually comes down to the nitty-gritty details, I think it's important for business owners to recognize that your employees and your clients alike are people,
Mm.
right? People have different emotions, they have different levels of understanding, they have different levels of ability, they have different levels of even care for the work that they do or for the things that they provide. And you as a business owner, I think the hardest thing for me is just navigating through different kinds of people, different kinds of personalities, trying to adapt the way that I talk and I communicate and I teach to my people, or even the clients that I work with. Some of my clients have an immigrant background, so they don't really understand what marketing is. And some of my clients are very young, and so they think they know everything about marketing.
Yeah.
So if you know everything about marketing, why are you talking to me? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's just, I think it's just navigating through all the different kinds of people and personalities that exist out there. That's probably one of the biggest challenges that I face. And I think I wouldn't say it's a bottleneck, but it definitely is a struggle when it comes to growing at such a big level.
Yeah, for sure. Do you find it more so on the internal team or the clients?
I'd say it's even 50-50.
Fair.
Yeah.
Let's go into a quick lightning round. So I'm gonna rattle off some questions at you, and just don't think too much, just whatever comes to mind.
Yeah.
What's one tool or resource that's been a game changer for your company?
AI.
Yeah. Any
AI.
specific platforms or websites you recommend?
ChatGPT, obviously.
Nice.
And the different editing softwares that we use. Final Cut Pro, for example, they have some crazy AI tools now for
Mm,
video editing, CapCut as well for our iPhone generated content. These things have been game changers for us. They save us a lot of time and a lot of money.
yeah, that's awesome. AI is revolutionary. I started subscribing to newsletters where I get daily updates into what's going on in the AI world, especially when it comes to sales, marketing, lead generation, because
Right.
that's like stuff that I'm passionate about. It's gonna increase productivity so much more, so much more. Like you're gonna take a team that needs to be 5 to 10 people and condense it down into a team of 1 to 2 if you
Right.
have the right AI tools in place.
100%.
What can you share? What's the best piece of advice you've received about scaling your company?
The best piece of advice I received about scaling your company is don't do, just delegate.
Say that again.
Don't do, just delegate.
Mm,
That's it.
hire better people. Yeah, I love it.
Hire better people. The more you can get away from the business yourself, the more you can focus on the bigger picture and leave all the quote unquote dirty work to the people that you hired them for a reason.
100%. That way you're actually the owner and not just the operator. What is, if you could go back in time to when you were first starting the business
Mm.
and whisper in your ear a piece of advice that you wish you knew at that time, that if you knew, you'd be much, much further ahead. Obviously, we can't change the past, but I think it's a cool exercise to think about. What would that advice be that you would give to your younger self?
That's a great question. Again, going back to talking about the imposter syndrome was just, I guess, a big part of why I had imposter syndrome was I guess my lack of experience and also my age.
Mm.
And I would just tell myself, like, don't let that get in your way. Charge the prices that you think are fair. Ask for what you think you deserve, and you'll be successful. If one person says no, there's dozens of other people that will definitely say yes.
Yeah, I love that. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
You can visit us on Instagram at AMJ Marketing Group or our website at amjmarketing.com. If you type in AMJ, because of our SEO strategies, we're probably going to be the first one that pops up. So you'll find us very easily.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So that wraps up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Thank you so much, my friend, for sharing your journey and your insights with us today. To our
Mhm.
listeners, if you're inspired by today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future everywhere. And if you're looking to scale your business and enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to discover how we can support your growth journey. Until then, keep on climbing.